Well, if you're wondering what I'm doing, as you can see, this has been my last 6 days pretty much, has been weather. Ice, snow, wind, hail, tornado, rainstorms from hell. I mean, this is what I've done for the last 6 days. And now I'm going through Wyoming and I'm dealing with accident. I had to sit for an hour back there, bad accident. This is what you got to deal with sometimes. But in this video, I'm sure you're going, what are you doing? Did you go grab a reload? Because I left you hanging on the last one. And you know what? I didn't go get a reload. And the reason I got to talk about this stuff is because when people ask me, hey William, how many Deadhead miles do you have? You know, what's your Deadhead miles? Okay, the reason I can't give you that answer is because I didn't have to have these Deadhead miles. There was more work than I could have done in that area. So I could have just run California back and forth, Washington, Oregon, until I was exhausted, tired, and didn't want to work anymore. And then I would have had some Deadhead miles back to Colorado and I could pick Robin up. But this is why I do this lifestyle and this job. Because it's my choice. I control what I'm doing. If I want to run back to see my wife and grab her and take her to Alabama and enjoy the warm weather and just enjoy life, that's why we do this. So if you're coming across this for the first time and you have no idea what I'm talking about, we've got all the videos out there. If you're a full-time RV life person as it is right now and you're struggling to make this happen and keep the bills paid, because living in an RV is double than what it is living in your house. And the people that are just living in campgrounds, paying the minimum, rest areas and all that stuff, yes, it's cheaper. But they're still lugging that big camper around, paying all that fuel and all those expenses and stuff and the wear and tear. So it still adds up, even though they're doing the boondocking, like everybody likes to show you, the boondocking with their camper and how awesome it is. And there's a lot of things that are not that awesome, and I'll tell you. And there's a lot of expenses that you don't realize till you go out and you do that full-time RV life like me and Robin did. And all of a sudden you're thinking, wait a minute, this is not the adventure that I thought it was. Could it be? Yeah, if I made a lot of changes, if I put $20,000 worth of solar panels on my RV and could stay in those areas. But your black tanks and your gray tanks fill up so fast, then you're lugging your crap around. There's a lot of things that go into that. Then you're trying to find a place. So at the end of the day, I was like, this just isn't what I thought it would be. But I didn't want to buy a house. We didn't want to do that all over again. I'm like, you know what? We'll just put our Riverstone in a stationary place. We'll just go back to doing adventures like we were, staying in hotels, traveling the world like me and Robin were doing before. The only difference is now we have a fifth wheel instead of a house. And then I came across RV transport. And I thought, well, everybody says you can't make no money. I'll just go do it for a few months, make some videos, tell people my experience. And then I got into this and I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, this is a no-brainer. I'm already out doing the stuff that me and Robin were doing. We're already having the adventures. We're traveling across the country, finding places and new experiences that we never knew about, because what happens is we take a trailer to a place we've never been before and we find all kinds of new stuff. Plus, I find all kinds of places to park where I could have parked my Riverstone and saved myself a bunch of money if I would have had that experience before I jumped into that full-time RV life. These are the lessons I'm trying to teach you right now, okay? So this was perfect. And now it's like, I tell Robin, well, let's go do what we want to do and let's let RV Transport pay for it. And mile-wise, I don't care, because we were already putting miles on our vehicle and doing all this stuff. The only difference now is I'm getting paid to go to the places that I want to go. And if I want to make a bunch of money to pay my bills or whatever I need for that month, I just go work and do 3 or 4 or 5 loads, and then I'm done for the rest of the month. And then we just go do whatever we want to do. We whip on down back to the Riverstone, we jump in the Jeep, we get to an airport, we go fly, we're gone, Wave doesn't have any problem with me being gone for a month. If I'm gone longer than a month, I call and let them know. and it's great. And when I come back here, nobody's going, hey, where were you? You know, nobody's jealous because I'm out there enjoying life. Nobody's worried. They have other people to do it. But when I come back, I get a load and I go do it all over again. And like this winter, when I didn't have any real plans, Robin was taking care of grandkids, helping her daughter with all the stuff that they went through. I'm out here just putting money in the bank for our next adventures, and this is the lifestyle. And then when I go out here and I made some money, I build like, you know, $40-some hundred, and then after expenses, you know, everybody's expenses are different. Mine were very cheap. Basically, I paid for fuel. That's it. Then I can say, well, do I want to turn this into another $3 or $4 grand and just keep working? Do I have to? No, I don't have to. What do I want to do? You know, my wife sends me a text. I miss you. There's my answer right then and there. I don't need to be out here. I'm going to go enjoy Robin. So when you ask me about Deadhead miles, my Deadhead miles are going to be different than anybody's, and the next person's is going to be different than the next person, because what you don't realize when you first start this job, there's a learning curve, and you'll figure out where to go, you'll figure out what works for you, and then your Deadhead miles will get less and less. They'll work the way you want. You don't really have to have that many Deadhead miles if you just plan yourself right. You can just say, I'm going to go out and work for 2 weeks, get on the road. This is for the people that have a family that they can't go with them, and they're not experiencing this job the way me and Robin are. So they just go out here, they work the areas, and all of a sudden that load pops them up that gets them almost home or halfway home, and they go home. And they were out there for 2 weeks working, and their Deadhead miles probably were 500 or 1,000 miles. Not that big a deal for the whole 2 weeks where they're working. But me, I can go out here and work, and then I can just deadhead 1,000 miles to Colorado approximately. Pick up Robin, spend there a couple days with the kids, deadhead all the way down to Alabama. So my Deadhead miles are super high. But the way I offset those Deadhead miles is I put a percentage back to replace this truck, because I know I'm going to wear it out. Plus, I write all them miles off because my job starts in Indiana. So I need to work my way back to Indiana, because that's where I'm grabbing my loads all the time when I first start my adventures. So those Deadhead miles, 99% of them are tax deductible. Okay? So this is just my little spiel about Deadhead miles, because this seems to be, you know, one of the biggest topics besides, you know, insurance and logs and that. They're always Deadhead miles. You're not making no money. Deadhead. What is your percentage? You know, I've had months where I made 65 cents per mile after all my expenses, you know, the wear and tear in the truck. I mean, I pretty much figured anything in there. I think my worst month was 50-some cents. I think my best one was 85 cents. So you guys that need to have that spreadsheet, you know, that's fine. But at the end of the year is how I look at it, because, all right, this month was 55 cents. That month was 65, you know. Next month was 85, you know. Ooh, I had a great month. So I get all excited that I broke it down to 85 cents per mile is what I made. It didn't really matter, because if I was able to enjoy the life I want to enjoy, do everything I want to do, and at the end of the year, everything's paid, there's money put back to replace the equipment has been fixed all year long, I think I just won, okay? Because no other job is going to give me the freedom that this one does and the experience, okay? So maybe this will, you know, clarify some of that for some people. It'll probably just open up more things, you know? But that's how I look at this. So yes, I can do a spreadsheet. I don't have to do a spreadsheet. You can do it if you need it for your deductions or how you work, the way we do our deductions and all the write-offs and stuff that we have, because we also have this YouTube channel, and sometimes, you know, we do ventures on the YouTube channel to make a video, and that video doesn't do very well. There's a write-off on that too. That's a business. That's something we're building. So everybody's going to be different. So that's about the bottom line on that, and I try to make it as simple as possible. But you can sit there all day long and just keep asking people questions and waste time. It can turn into days, months, or years before you finally get your ass out here and do something about it. Or just be that person and do it. And you'll know in a few months if it's not for you, but you've gotten the experience. And I can tell you right now, if you plan on being an RV person or a full-time RV life, what you will learn from this will make that experience so much better and so much more profitable and cheaper just from what you learn from doing this RV transport. That's what I said. I wish I'd have done this before me and Robin ever bought an RV, because first of all, we'd have bought a smaller one, half the size. We'd have changed what we were doing. We didn't need that big thing that we got. We thought we needed it because that's what people were pushing at that time, and I got sucked into that, you know. And I would have learned that just from hauling these all the time and going and staying in the areas what would fit better. I mean, yeah, if you want a giant Riverstone and you're going to put it somewhere, or you're going to stay stationary in a lot of these places throughout the year, and you get yourself a set rate for the month, then it's worth it. But if you think you're going to jump in an RV, drive down the road, and you're going to, every place for that big Riverstone is going to be $100 a night, $125 a night, $150 a night, and you start adding that up, oh my God, you could have stayed in, with what you're paying for the RV, the gas, and everything to haul it around, you could stay in 5-star hotels every night where you went for less money. But this is everybody's argument. Yeah, but you can't bring all your stuff. You don't need all that stuff. First of all, the reason you're getting into RV life is to downsize. And in RV life, you will downsize more and more every year. And you're like, before you know it, me and Robin have a couple bags apiece in this truck doing everything we want. Then seasons change, we get back to the RV, we change out our bags to the stuff that we need for that time of the year, and you didn't need to bring everything you need in that 45-foot fifth wheel to experience life. Life is experienced in the simplest ways. The simplest ways will be the most enjoyable and the most memorable. I can tell you, in my early life, my best times when my children were young and the experiences we had, we didn't have a dime. I mean, we were broke as shit, and we were happy, and we loved each other, and those memories had nothing to do with fancy shit or shitload of money. Bottom line. And if you get into full-time RV life, you will experience that. And if you get into RV transport, you will experience what it can show you, and you will figure this out. You will make enough money to survive. You'll make even more money as you get better. You'll be a happier person. That's the bottom line. Here's the plug for Wave. Why do I plug Wave? Wave has been good to me and Robin. They were good to me and Robin before they knew we had a YouTube channel. They're still good to me. I've never felt like they've played favorites or anything like that. They've gave me the stuff to do what I want to do with it, and if I have the initiative to grab it and go ahead and do it, then it's profitable for me. So there's a referral program. You click on the link that Robin has below in this video. It'll take you to them. You fill it out. You go through. If you put my name, I get a kickback from the company. I'm here to help you. I reach out to you. I call you. I give you my number, and I get you for those first things. And I think that by Wave doing that referral, they pay me to help you because they don't have time to help you because they're so busy. And that little bit of referral money more than compensates for everything that you need from this to make it easier for you. Will it be perfect? No. Will I have every answer? I'll have an answer. Might not be your answer or the answer you want, but that's what's nice about this, because you don't have to do what I do or the way I do it. You take what you hear from me, you take what you hear from the rest of Robin's groups and those people, and you apply what works for you. And you'll be out here doing the exact same thing we are, enjoying life, making money. The reason I'm putting these plugs out here is because Wave is doubling their workforce. When they get that workforce doubled, it's going to slow way down. You're going to send your application, they're going to say you're approved, but we're not hiring in that area right now or something like that. It's going to happen. I know it will. I don't know how long, because there's people out there that have done this job that, they get frustrated that they have to do a safety class every year. They have to do this. They have to log their logs. They always have to end where they start. All the stuff that you go through, the orientation for 2 days, the extra insurance you have to have. These are the things to do this. But I guarantee you, the money that you make will more than compensate for anything that you put out to get started in this. And that's what we're here to help you with. And that's what we've been doing. And the community that Robin has built on Facebook, and the community from our referrals and the people that we meet on the road, is the best part of this job, and why I'm still doing it today because I originally was going to do this for 2 or 3 months, do some videos, and move on to the next thing in my life. 13 months later, I'm still doing this because I love doing it. I love the money, I love what it gives me, and I love the people. I don't think I can say any more than that. And look at this. In this video, you didn't even have to look at my face. You got to just look at what I deal with. And the reason I'm showing you what I'm dealing with is because some people cannot handle this. Once you do this job for a while, even if you've never really been into these conditions, if you're somebody that takes the time, drives safe, gets better at it, this is nothing to you. This is the way I like to drive. Keeping enough distance from everybody, the ice, the snow, this is nothing compared to the wind. The wind is the worst thing across the whole United States. That's what really causes the big issues. The only way this is a problem is you get that one idiot that's going way too fast, or you get 20 people all bunched up, and that's where your problem is. So learn to keep your distance. Heck, if you have to, slow down, let all the people get by, then reset your speed where you want to go, and keep that distance, and you'll be fine. Because there could be a giant accident up there. I had plenty of time to stop, and you're not in that stuff. So don't let this stuff worry you. The wind is what you need to, pay attention to. Wind affects your bottom line when it comes to fuel economy, money, everything. So sometimes work your jobs around the wind. Decide, you know what, I'm going to wait 2 or 3 days before I pick this load up, and then I'm going to go kick it out, and I guarantee you your fuel expenses will probably be $100 cheaper. Your stress level will be better. You'll just feel better about it. So this is what I try to put in these videos. Sometimes they kind of go all over the place because I never know what's going to pop into my head. And if anybody knows, William's a talker. Once you get me wound up, I have no problem going at it. So, but this video, I'm going to have Robin. She's going to say this video is about deadhead miles. So maybe people will get a little concept of what I'm talking about. The deadhead miles are up to you. People think you just drive out west and you got to drive all the way back to Indiana. Certain times of the year, that can happen. Some people don't have any patience. They drive right out. They could have waited 20 minutes later and the loads they were looking for would be there. You see what I mean? And but they don't have any patience. And some guys, that's how they have this lifestyle figured out. They just drive straight out, do their delivery, drive straight back. Most of those guys are hauling big units, getting paid like $2.20 per mile. They are CDL drivers, and that works for them. They get their after expenses, I don't know, I'd say maybe $4,000 after expenses when they're making that much per mile, and that's all the money they need to do. So, and then they just do it all over again. And they write off all those deadhead miles, and it works for them. Because I've met guys that have been doing this for 10 years, and that's how they do it. And they don't look like they're roughing it to me. Hey, they look happy. They're driving a new truck. They have a home. They have a family. So I hope that helps. But other than that, that's all we're going to do in this video. I just wanted to let you know that I'm pretty much done picking up Robin. We're going to go to Alabama. Going to get my air conditioner installed in this truck. Do some other upgrades, make some videos, then we might just jump in the Jeep. Me and her might go have some fun somewhere for a few days, and then we'll get back to doing this all over again, and Robin will be with me. Plus we're going to start calling people and interviewing them and start getting those videos out now. As soon as we get to the Riverstone, we're going to start calling you. So if you watch this video and you're ready to talk to us, send me a text, because I know you got my number. Leave a comment, because we're going to get those videos out there now so that people can hear other people's side of the story, and they can make their own decision on all that stuff. So you know how I end these videos. Always.